Are you gonna say that there's a special guest on the stream?
Of course.
What are you gonna call me? What am I? What am I to you?
Um, good friend, collaborator, business partner.
Okay. Okay. Good friend first, though. That's nice to know.
Nice.
Oh, there's 4 people supposedly not watching, but watch. Oh. Oh. We're live.
Are we?
I'm very loud. Hello?
Hello. Just going to grab the actual link where I can see.
Do I have to send you the link to your own stream?
Yep, I have no idea where it is. So, oh, I found it. Haha, we are
Okay.
live. The technology works. Hello to anybody who may or may not be watching. If we have any audio troubles, please do let me know. I think I've got it just about right-ish. Today, I am joined with a incredibly lovely special guest. Good friend, collaborator, business partner, and all-round much better Animal Crossing expert, Louise.
Hello there.
How are you?
I mean, I would not call myself an Animal Crossing expert, but I have sunk a good chunk into this game. It's so good.
Yeah, so admittedly, you did get your Switch a good point before Animal Crossing. You took the plunge early, but it was like one of the main reasons you were kind of wanting to jump on.
Basically, I got my Switch after it had just been delayed. So I was like, right, well, though I did want to, specifically to get the Switch to play this game, there are a couple others I might as well pick up, kind of thing. And I've loved the Switch, I've loved, the games, and more so, I have fallen deeply in love with Animal Crossing.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Just say hi. Thank you, Matthew, for joining us. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, Animal Crossing, obviously the big one, but how have you been finding since getting the Switch in general? Because I imagine, Nintendo, they could have probably released the new Animal Crossing on the Wii U, and you would probably be like, I could get a good deal on it.
You know what? I don't think I would have gotten a Wii U one.
Scandalous.
I
Dissing
do not
my boy.
understand. I do not understand what you see in the Wii U, but I respectfully appreciate your constant appraisal of that console.
Oh, it's an awful console. I just think it had some fantastic games.
Okay.
Like, especially compared to even like the first half of the PS4 and the Xbox One's life. Some fantastic games all around, and as well as that, it's nice to have one console where you're not having to do the whole like download 100 GB games. It's you put a disc in and it works, and that's the way I like my consoles.
Yeah, that's fair. I think there's definitely something to be said in how the Wii U totally just paved the way for the Switch.
Yeah.
But I guess, like, as well, the Wii U didn't come out at the right time for me, whereas the Switch kind of did, or at least when I invested in a second-hand one, I was like, okay, now I can kind of afford to buy all the games. For Christmas, I was given a CEX code, and I managed to pick up Breath of the Wild with that, and those two really have been the games that have really sort of caught me.
Could you repeat that again, sorry?
Sorry, so for Christmas I got a CEX code, and I managed to pick up Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember, like, as soon as you got the Switch, I was like, you need to get Breath of the Wild. It's the Switch game to have. And, it was weird, because I think similar to yourself, I was not a Breath of the Wild player. and then was just or Zelda player and was just like completely caught off guard by how addicting it really became.
Yeah. Well, so as a kid, I had like I think it would have been the first edition Nintendo DS.
Yeah, like the big ugly one with the small tiny hinge that always seemed to break.
Yeah, and which you pulled apart. You dismantled my boy, but it was fine. I was done with it.
And gave him new life.
And I had Phantom Hourglass on that, and that's been the only other Zelda I have played, and they are very different games, but I've loved them both.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for like 15 years once we've had Breath of the Wild 2, 3, and 4, and then people are like, I miss the old Zelda. Do you remember the classic Zeldas?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I just feel like that nostalgia's right around the turn. So we recently had a game called Oceania come to Switch, which
Ooh.
it was originally like an Apple TV exclusive, and it, you know, it looked really good for an Apple TV game. But now seeing it, like that's like Breath of the Wild, but with normal Zelda gameplay, it's kind of weird where it's like, I could never see us going back to like pre-Breath of the Wild Animal Crossing, outside of maybe like the 2D stuff.
Pre-Breath of the Wild Animal Crossing. What?
Zelda, my apologies. Talking about Animal Crossing, I should probably explain what I'm doing. I am on a quest to hunt down a cute little wee penguin called Roald, or alternatively Raymond, because he seems hipster-ish in the same ways that I like to be a pretentious annoyance. And I've got 100 Nook Mile tickets to do it, so hopefully I do it. If I find him right away, he's coming home, and if not, it's a waste of 100 Nook Mile tickets. Oh.
So have you pre-bought the Nook Miles?
Yeah,
Or?
I've like half of my inventory is literally all Nook Miles.
Oh, you'll want to leave some behind so that you can pick up sweet loot.
Yeah, to kind of speed things along, I'm only taking out the rocks because I'm in search of gold to complete my golden armor set. And oh, we've got a couple people with us.
Search of gold. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's quite alright. Thank you, Souls Like Gamer, Moxie, for joining us, and hello, Mo. It's great to have everyone. And yeah, I've got Fauna, which apparently I should be is actually quite a beloved one. I feel like I'm going to make some enemies today. You feel that?
Oh my gosh, you've got face cam up and everything.
I know, true gaming professional.
Oh, everyone's gonna compliment your new hair now.
Oh yeah. To be honest, it's like after the second day, it looks like normal.
Oh no.
Which is fine. I have half the dead end, which is I'll take it. So we'll win by my part.
Okay, but they'll just resplit. We gotta chop all of it off, Anton.
Go bald.
Yeah, we gotta make you a bald baby.
See, I just need to get wigs at that point. And I can like.
Oh, you could rock some amazing wigs.
Yeah, you know, that's my plan. If I ever lose my hair, which I'm confident I should be safe.
Yeah. I'm gonna shave you in the night.
Oh, lawsuits would be flying. It wouldn't be good.
Do you have your hair insured?
Yeah, I have. You know, it's the order of importance. It's from least to most. You have house insurance, life insurance, hair insurance.
Oh right, I thought hair insurance would have been covered under content insurance. You know, so you've got your cameras, your microphone,
it's part
your
of my
hair.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I've actually gotten it like it's like where the sideburns are and like near the edges. It's kind of been trimmed with like an actual razor blade. And it's weird. I've got like the little wee bristles, and I've not had that since I must have been like 12. Not even 12, maybe 9.
Aww.
It feels so weird.
I miss the little brushes feel of my hair.
It's yeah, it's weird where I'm like, that's cool, but I also hate it.
Oh, I didn't even tell you. I've decided on an undercut.
Oh.
I've got such a hairstyle in mind that I want to do. I'm so excited for when I can get that done.
When are you planning to go for it, or aiming to go for it? Obviously, we don't know in our current world situation.
Yeah, as soon, well, not as soon as I can, but as soon as things seems a bit better, I can wait.
Yeah.
When as I know, like my sister and my mum will very much be the first day it's possible. They'll be going out and getting haircuts.
Oh my god, I've been getting really cute villagers today, and it's just been like I've been passing them by. Meanwhile, at my island, I have an ugly monkey that's wasting space.
Yeah, you were all up for monkeys, yet here you are.
Yeah, I like monkey rather than gorilla. Which, you know, I think some of the Animal Crossing villagers, when they get too big, they look a little bit ugly. I like them when they're very round and geometric. Like
That's
simple
why I
ones.
like the sheep. They're just all round, and then even their furry bits are just fluffy. They're wool, some would call them.
See, the only sheep I'm really familiar with in Animal Crossing is that big, what is it, the clown one?
Oh no, fuck that. Absolutely fuck all. Sorry, pardon my language. But
Scandalous.
the clowns give me actual nightmares.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, they're not great.
I do not trust his eyes.
Yeah, he's. I don't know. He's just too colourful. I just can't get behind it. It's not my
No,
favourite.
I can't either.
Petro. Oh no, Moxie in the chat has them.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Moxie.
What? I don't even know what personality type they are. I'm
I
awful
think
at names.
Peppy.
Peppy.
They've got to be not Pepe, but like Peppy personality.
Are you one of the kind of people that goes and like tries to complete all, like have one of all the personality types, or are you not really bothered?
You know, I think if I was approaching this from a completionist point of view, then I would have to, but that's not necessarily where I find my joy in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
for now, it's just the villagers that I think look cool.
Yeah, I find it funny with my partner where it's the kind of case where I'll be going ahead and getting like my 16th jock villager, and it's like, you don't have a sisterly one. It's like, this one's cool, they're round.
Yeah.
This one's fat.
Yeah.
They're fat lazy
But
boy, I
there's-
like them.
I think there's enough of us in our sort of little friend group that is playing Animal Crossing to be able to be like, you know, who has this recipe or who's got that, who wants this. When as I think, yeah, if you were just sort of playing for you, there might be elements that you would miss out on.
Yeah, it's really amazing where, obviously the kind of online capabilities of Animal Crossing have expanded so much, but at the same time, I'm just really curious to see where it goes next. Like right now it feels like Nintendo's just basically kind of caught up to kind of what I think would be the bare minimum what people would expect Animal Crossing to have in terms of multiplayer. Like obviously you can't terraform together, which obviously I know why they don't want to, but I think they could have found a workaround around kind of allowing it for like bestest best friends or having a builder mode or something like that.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like there's a lot of sort of play testing elements and like, oh, I can't remember what it's called, but like, you know, that like the crafting multiple items and things like that. Like I feel like they kind of made the game and didn't quite expect how people would be playing it. And
Yeah.
it seems the same for then online, that either they don't really care that there's a sort of market of selling bells and items, or they wanted to encourage the fact that people are doing really high prices for like in-game stuff. And that doesn't sit well with me either.
I would love it if they created like a space for just kind of more intuitive multiplayer, because it works. Like I think if there was just a kind of a city or something where you could go and say hello to some random people, that would be
So
cool.
the one on the Wii it was called City Folk, right? The
Yeah.
chat may want to correct me, but my understanding is that it was similar to Wild World, except for that because it was the next one in the series, but that you could go to the city, and I think part of that city was online, not all of it. So there was a bunch of different shops, and you had to like unlock it and invest. But yeah, my understanding was bits of that was online as like a communal space you'd go to, kind of like a hub. But then as well, there was going to be a bit more, and things like the Miiverse got shut down, and so I think like online spaces aren't necessarily what Nintendo is super happy
Yeah.
with, right?
Yeah, that's fair. You know, it's like I'm just thinking back to Destiny, like, 2013, and what would happen is you would just roll into random areas and there would just be other people playing, like it was one big open world with tons of planets, and then you would just roll
Yeah.
into spaces and then there would be other people playing the same, like just playing their campaign but just kind of passively going past you, and they would be loaded in and loaded out and you wouldn't even know they were there, or you could even be coexisting in the same space but just behind different walls and you wouldn't know they're there.
Yeah.
And then they had, I think in Destiny they had the tower, which it was basically your lobby for loading up, buying new items and, you know, doing a bunch of, housework basically, of buying items, getting quests and stuff like that. And that was all online. You just had people wandering around this kind of plaza, just doing their own thing. You didn't really have any ways to interact outside of emotes. And
Yeah.
it just feels like, with how streamlined that was, how easy it would be to get something cool for Animal Crossing.
But I think at the same time, they must have been aware of the volume of players,
True.
because the game does really seem sort of at capacity, to whatever capacity that is. Having 8 players on one town does actually feel really quite cramped, and I think if there was an online space, I mean, what kind of servers it would need, I'm not fully sure.
Yeah, it's a real shame because obviously those ones, had massive environments and, many people doing many things. And then it's like, when you get like maybe over 6 people in Animal Crossing, there's like a good bit of, yeah, we're not getting out here with an autosave.
But
It's
yeah,
gonna
also
crash.
the how long it takes to load in and out everyone, because you have to do it all individually, and just because we've got a fairly large group of sort of the close uni friends that play it, and I think we've only done like a couple of the really large nights, and there has
Yeah.
always been a crash or two.
And then we give up and then just go in little wee subgroups
Yeah.
of 3 and 4 to other islands.
Yeah. And then, you're always never on the best island.
Yeah, there's always something more exciting on the other one. Regardless of where you go. That is not Leona. This is a good friend of mine and collaborator, business partner, Louise Duncan. I don't know if you mind me
Hello.
saying your surname.
How could you dox me like this?
I know your identity's out there. It can be stolen.
It's almost like it's on my Twitter, and my Twitch and my. No, sorry. Carry on.
But very talented, and you do some streaming every now and then. You've done some podcasting in the past, so and you know Animal Crossing, so you're in your element here.
Yeah. I did hurt my ankle the other day, so
Oh,
we're having to like
time
lie
to kick
down
you
in
off
bed.
the podcast.
Well, I guess it's more I'm lying down in bed whilst playing Animal Crossing, and I don't think I've ever felt more in my element. But I am by no means an expert.
See, you
Can
need
we we have it flashing on screen? Not an expert.
we set up to a button, so whenever you come in with a fact or a statement, it's like wah, wah.
Yeah. Yeah, I want like a siren noise as well. Not an expert.
But yeah, Moxie says hello, and so does Rennie. So many hellos to
Oh.
you, Louise.
I know Rennie.
Yeah.
Unless this is another Rennie.
No, this is our Rennie.
Oh, is this my favorite Rennie?
Indeed.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so what as an introduction,
Yeah.
how would you describe yourself and your taste as a gamer? What? Because I think you have a slightly more. Oh my god, this is the ugliest one so far. I was
Who
on
is
like
it?
I had a roll of cuties. Chops. Because I don't know. I don't think Animal Crossing should have mustaches. It's never really rubbed me the right way. Um,
Just that name.
I don't know. This one feels like he's going to tell me about um, how he's very liberally, socially liberal, but just conservative with money.
But no. This guy is a colonizer. I mean, look at that jacket.
Yeah, I don't trust him. And what's he doing on this island? We won't know.
God.
Um,
Oh god. Them eyebrows, dummy thick.
But yeah, so how would you describe your game taste? Because admittedly we do have a decent amount of games in common, but it's not the usualist style of games you're into.
Yeah, well, so I would say, I think the core is city builders. I think those are the games that I'm most drawn to, whether they're larger or more indie. There's something I quite enjoy with the kind of Tetris style problem solving of shapes and a kind of mix of managing resources. I quite enjoy that. Though famously have sunk nearly 1,000 hours into Skyrim.
Oh my! I still can't. I struggle to fathom that.
So
Like-
do I.
Like even right now, I'm doing the Halo collection on Legendary, and I'm going for like all the achievements. It's like between like all 6 games, it might take you 400 hours to 100%.
Well, yeah. So I've 100%ed it multiple times. Is the situation that we're at. But I've also had times where I've just played it in a total like role-playing fantasy style. There's also like ways that you can play it with like challenges of only use your fists or never wear armor or that kind of stuff. And I've played it on a lot of different platforms as well. And then the other highest contender is The Sims 4, which is around 500 and a bit.
How, is that game over 5 years old now?
I don't know when it came out. Yeah, I
That,
couldn't tell you when I actually got it.
100 a year. I'm like, it's a lot. But
No, I didn't get it when it came out. That's the worst bit.
You're like, I got it last week.
No, definitely a good couple years ago.
See.
But
I think I've been foolish. My old philosophy was, and it started with the Sims 1, where the Sims 2 came out, and then I bought Sims 2 with the Sims with all the expansion passes, which admittedly back then wasn't too much. Did the same with Sims 2 and 3. Was planning to do it with 4, but with the way EA is going, I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
yeah, with the re-release on Steam, that just seems oof. And they're like, look, it's half price. You could buy it again. No.
Yeah. EA has me so conflicted right now. They've just put out like one of my favorite games of all time that I bought 3 times on the original, like not the original Xbox, the Xbox 360. I bought it on PC. I bought it the remaster on PC, on Origin for I think it was £30 on day 1. Now they've brought it to Nintendo Switch for £44, and they've brought it to Steam for £4. Which admittedly shows how badly the Switch prices are when they've just brought it for Steam for the first time for £4, but...
Yeah, I was wondering, like, is it just me, or are Switch prices ridiculous?
Yeah, it's the Switch tax.
And I don't want to, bring a snobbish attitude to your, wonderful and very humble Nintendo Switch podcast. But if you know me, you'll realize I'm a bit of a snob. But they do just seem so high, like consistently high. And so I get that the not devaluing, is a really interesting and sort of appreciated phenomenon, but the starting prices are so high.
Yeah, for the Nintendo IP, I get, it's it's kind of case where you pay what, like it's nice where you can buy Mario Kart 8 at the beginning of the console's lifespan and it'll still be worth the same price. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's how Nintendo's always done business, and to be honest, it encourages me to buy more Nintendo games. But
Yeah.
sorry, I've got a couple stuff here in the chat. I'll just fire it over. Moxie says, "You hate the Switch?" Question mark.
I do not hate the Switch.
We've got Ruby in the chat. We've got Rennie in the chat. We've got a good friend of mine, Aaron, in the chat. And we,
Is this friend Ruby or is this another Ruby?
This is friend Ruby. We've got the full gang
boy.
here. I totally feel your sentiments, Moxie, for cheating on the Switch. I'm going to be getting the Outer Worlds on PC again, and I feel guilty about it. And thanks for joining us, Aaron.
Well, so it was like, I'm a big fan of Spyro. They did their remake, and so I actually had tonsillitis at the time when I got it, and so it was like a super ill fever dream of replaying the newest one on my dad's PS4.
Indeed.
I was house sitting at the time, and that was just brilliant. But very polished remaster, which from my memory of the original game being a bit glitchy was really enjoyable. So I then got the cartridge on Switch, being like, yes, I can live that, but sort of while sat in bed or on the train or whatever.
Indeed.
And the frames that were dropped, everything about it was, or not everything about it, but a lot about it was really quite broken. Or felt incomplete for a Switch game. And I was kind of like, right, that seal of approval isn't there with everything in the way that I thought it was.
Yeah. Thankfully, I think the Crash Bandicoot port was better. That one.
Well, again, it was brilliant on PS4,
Yeah.
and I've heard it's been good on Steam. So it's clearly not the game itself.
What's your thoughts like on them? Obviously, they've just announced after the success of the Insane trilogy for Crash Bandicoot doing a Crash Bandicoot 4. But how would you feel if they came out with a Spyro 4, like redone as a modern Spyro game in the style of the classics? Where's your heart at with that?
I was never the hugest of Spyro fans. I think it was a game that Dad really liked, and therefore as younger kids me and my sister played. Very much brought up to be gaming children because we got a gaming dad. But yeah, I don't know, I think that kind of a platformer, and this is sort of what Yooka-Laylee, when it came out, sort of showed us. That kind of a platformer just doesn't really, or I feel doesn't have a space in the kind of sphere anymore, in that there are different ways to do that kind of difficult challenge, but without it being as janky.
Yeah, I really want to see I've seen a lot of people express the sentiment, but I've never seen somebody do a good adaptation, like review of it in this regard. But comparing Banjo-Kazooie to Yooka-Laylee, because to be honest, I don't think Yooka-Laylee's that bad in comparison.
No, and I think that's part of the why certain people don't like it, is that it is a remaster of even the game mechanics, and loading screens. So you don't need the same kind of loading screens because you can just pop up to different places now, and worlds don't have to be as small because, there is a much more of a capability for much larger maps and bigger render times and, more assets and all that kind of stuff. But then the game doesn't look or feel like how the old games do. So part of it was consciously keeping the map short and, not having dialogue or like not having voiceovers, not having these things. It was active decisions. I mean, I really loved the game and wish I had loved the gameplay more, because I was a fan of Banjo-Kazooie, but sadly I just couldn't get into Yooka-Laylee. even though I was sort of in love with the idea of it.
Yeah, I won't lie, I'm at least happy with how Playtonics handled the situation, because I loved the characters and the design, the music, the setting, and I like how they basically took all of that and applied it to a different genre of game for the second one. I'm yet to download the demo. I know Alistair was a bit iffy on it, so... but he kind of went in expecting Banjo-Kazooie, which the second one, Impossible Lair's just... It's a different beast. Which I not... Oh, hello? Oh! Hello!
Hello?
Hello! You alright?
Yes, sir, I think disconnected.
That's quite alright. I was just sitting there chatting about the ukulele and the Impossible Lair. Have you seen that one?
I have not played it, no, but I have seen a lot about it. I think it looks a lot better suited in that it seems sort of not like a different kind of polish, but it does seem like a different kind of game that looks just a bit simpler, to be honest with you. I
Yeah.
think it's not going to have so many things that people will love and remember, but then also less things that people will hate.
Yeah, I'm just kind of... I'm quite chuffed that we got it, because I love the... Oh, this one's a cute one. Shame they're getting a bad... Oh, actually, they looked me in the face. Oh, they look snarky. They're up to something. They're burning a building. But...
Who is it? Who is it?
Oh, say hello. Bonbon. I don't know, their eyebrows look evil to me. I like their hair and their little wee hat. But their eyebrows are just pointy. Sorry, I got completely distracted. Yeah, ukulele. I love the.
Is that hat not their hair?
I think they've got a little wee hat in there. Like it's like a little wee blue thing, blue and red.
Oh no, sorry. I guess I'm only seeing her with her little hair.
Ah. But yeah, the characters in the writing in ukulele was fab. Same with the music. So I'm glad that's getting like a second chance at life.
The friggin' trouser snake character.
Oh, he's my favorite.
You know, just little bits like that. And I saw a really good, was it maybe not H Bomber Guy, somebody did a really interesting video essay about it. And I was like, yes, I like this, you know. But then when I got into the game, I think I only maybe did a couple hours at most.
Yeah. One day. It's a real shame. I was actually going to buy it if they had a Wii U port, and then they cancelled it. They lost a customer.
You would have bought anything
Yeah.
on the Wii U.
They're
And in fact, you are going to buy everything for the Wii U. So who's the gullible one now?
Yeah, it's quite bad. There's some games on the Wii U where I'm just like, oh, why have I got to buy that? Overall, I think it's got a good percentage of good games, and I miss you too, Aaron. Thank you for the lovely comment.
Oh, people missing you.
Indeed. We used to hang out quite often in the before times, before we lost the reality that we live in now.
Oh God, do you remember the before times?
Oh, honestly, it's weird now that it's now weird. Like the fact that going to shops or going for a cup of coffee or just seems like a foreign concept. It's just odd, and I think even when it does get normal, like if we got to that theoretical phase 4 or whatever it would be, it would still be like a case of, oh, this is the first time I've went to for pizza post lockdown.
Yeah, I guess I think the world is changing in ways we don't fully understand yet. And I agree with you. I think the first little while is going to be weird, but I also think a new kind of normal will set in.
Yeah.
Whether the new normal is a slight level of constant panic, we are yet to see.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a forced and kind of rapid fire digitalization, whether it be education, dance classes, um, yeah,
Well,
just
things,
generally, I think people will Zoom more often.
I mean, our whole university experience, at least from my point of view, was complaining about the tech. Just because it was implemented the same year the building was put together, which is like 12 years now. And, of course it was the best that it was at the time, but then that was 12 years ago. So it did improve steadily as we were going through uni. And I know you just didn't engage with a lot of it because of those reasons.
Yep.
But, that though it wasn't really acceptable before, it is definitely no longer feasible now. It's not just not acceptable, it's just not possible anymore. To get away with the same level of stuff. And that will be that feeling will be felt in all industries, in all areas, not just education, but that happens to be the one that we're finally done with.
Dun dun dun.
How do you feel now that you have a degree?
Yeah, it's I think it's more evident that obviously career-wise we're both we're on that kind of new journey.
I thought you said queer-wise, and I was like, what have we done new that's gay?
You said it, not me. And having this little wee time to take a wee break and kind of sit back, reflect, think about where things are going next, it really does feel like a new chapter. And I think just having that little wee breather as well is kind of, it's like put some space between the books. Like, you release a book in February and then you release a sequel in March. It feels like one book. But if you release like a book 10 years later, it's like, oh, that's it. The next chapter in the saga. That's a horrible analogy. I am so...
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sometimes I'm really proud of myself when it comes to analogies, where I'm like, wow, that was stupid, but it's stupid enough where you're like, oh, I get it better now. And then other times I'm like, I get to the end of the analogy and the people are like, somebody just looks at me, it's like, what are you saying? I'm like, I have no idea.
So who have you met so far in Animal Crossing? Give me a little rundown.
There was a couple cute ones, then there was the ugly bear, and then there's some medium ones that was like, and now I've got a hideous one now. This one it's like a flamingo. They're called Pango. They look like they're seafoam, and they're just got far too many colors, and I don't know. I don't like them. And I'm also slowly running out of inventory space. I think I'm going to have to do a bombing run to my house, as well as I need some new tools. So you can see the hideous state of my house on the stream.
Oh, how so? Because I remember we did a visit to your, in-game house. It wasn't the first day, but it was like the first week you had been playing, and it was cursed then.
Yes.
Has it stayed cursed?
No, I tidied it up at one point. I added my recording room in the back, which is like a little podcasting studio. And the living room was empty then, and now I just keep on dumping stuff in the living room when I'm like in a rush, which I'm able to do.
Oh no.
But overall, I'm hoping to... I've finally got an extension. I basically added the back room and then added 0 extensions.
That's fair.
Because I was S rank and I was happy with it. I wasn't losing that S rank for more work. But I finally got the extra room, so hope to expand more. Currently I'm working on the terraforming mostly. So that's my priority.
Yeah, I got my island sort of to a point that I was really happy with it, then got my house to a point that I was really happy with it, and then it was like just doing a little bit of both every now and then, so adding a couple more lamp posts, or organising the flowers just so there's less of the same, and that kind of stuff was then the sort of slow things that ticked me over into 5 stars.
Yeah, I am possibly a 3 or 2 stars. I think I'm planning to get the 3 stars to unlock the terraforming, because I knew I didn't want to really design anything because I would have to move it. I literally was just kind of what was I saying? I literally just chucked every single item I had in my storage onto the floor. which
Yeah.
is a
You know,
true gamer bra
if
moment.
you yeah, if you see that as playing the game, then oof, oof, that's your life.
See, I didn't want to commit. It was a lot of I was like, I'm going to change everything eventually, and I changed nothing.
Well,
So
yeah, so I was in a similar mood of being like, gosh, once I've put this down, like I'm never gonna want to like the houses. I
mm,
knew from the start, I was like, I'm never gonna want to move those houses. So as I was placing them, I was like trying to be real careful.
yeah, I think I like my layout. I've been a lot of people I know early on, they put them in like a perfect grid. I basically was like, you know what, I'm just going to design it into the shape of the island and kind of go for some smooth curves. Um,
Um, do you mind if I tell Google who you are so it can recognize your face better?
of course, go for it.
Perfect, thank you. I'm
Um,
I'm looking up a new cute selfie for the Instagram.
oh, I'm sorry to hear you've got burnt out, Aaron. How many hours had you had in it? Cause I remember seeing you a bunch on the game when it was first made available to the public. Um, so I think even then I'm probably on the lighter end for most players. I'm like 8 hours in.
Oh my god, that's so little hours!
I know I am merely a baby. Um, but
A
that's
babe in
quite
arms.
that makes it my third most played Switch game. As a Switch podcast boy, so um, it's secretly a lot for me.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
See, you've outplayed me, Aaron. You're just speedrunning.
I do remember that famous post on the Reddit, which is somebody's like, I've put 300 hours in and there's not enough in the game. And people are like, you are just burnt out. Take some time away from the game, like deal with yourself.
Yeah, the thing I loved about that post is just like people haven't explained that you shouldn't just buy one game. There should be other games in your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the chat we've got Aaron at 100 hours. We've got Moxie at 400, and Rennie at
Wow.
360.
Yeah, Rennie overtook me at the start, and then I was like, "Oh gosh, Rennie, onto a new world."
I think you've been catching up slightly though. This is
I'm
when
on.
Rennie
I'm
does an
on
all-nighter.
315.
Okay, that's not too far off. I remember there's a phase where it was like almost double between you. Obviously, it's not a race or competition.
No,
But
it's just definitely not.
competitive Animal Crossing. We'll play it evil. Oh wait. Dun dun dun. Oh, yeah, it's a shame. Have you heard about all the evil FNAF nonsense?
FNAF.
Or evil, the nonsense that's been going on with that event.
No, what?
Oh, have you heard of evil? Firstly, to start off.
Oh, as in online.
Yeah, it's the online multiplayer tournaments.
Yeah, I do know of, but I didn't realize there was drama.
Yeah, so first it got kind of cancelled, then it got moved to a digital event, which, to be honest, for competitive gaming, doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world. But then the founder of Evo basically went off and has been exposed for doing some rather naughty things in the 90s, beyond naughty, like vile things in the 90s that
Oh
we
no.
shan't say here. And he's basically just been playing it off like, yeah, everybody does dumb stuff when they're young. And everybody's like, yeah, like, it's just a bit of a big mess there. But hopefully he gets booted from the board and it can be a fresh new year for Evo next year with some new administration.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, it's to be honest, Evo was getting a little bit. There wasn't any, or at least as an outsider, any examples of corruptness, but it never felt, right. I don't know. It's just something felt very biased and hanging out with the boys sort of way.
Hmm.
But nevertheless, um,
Sorry, I'm just adding the terrible pictures that I may or may not share with you on the Discord.
oh my god, the one with just hair in the face. Oh,
It is quite a funny picture. That's the thing.
I guess we could maybe do two, like have a swipe over. But who all do you have on your island at the moment, Animal Crossing wise, if I may ask?
Are you asking me or are you asking chat?
I am asking yourself, but I would love to hear in the chat what people have.
I would also love to hear Becca because she's also doing what you're doing, and she just got Dom.
Oh.
I am so jealous.
Ugh.
Dom is my boy.
I'm not saying that
who
to
you
Dom.
got?
I've got an ugly kangaroo. He's emo, but like not super emo. Yeah, I'm not digging him.
I've got amiibos for Stella and Kiki, the amiibo cards, because those two are like in my heart and have always been favorites.
Oh, Kiki's a classic, of course.
I do love Kiki. Well, because Kiki's like my actual family cat, so it's like, oh, Kiki's perfect. And then Lolly is a new one, and I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kabuki, also scary cat, as another one of our friends call it. Kabuki's hilarious.
Kabuki, what?
And then I
what
really
cat
love
do they look
Wendy.
like?
Oh, Kabuki is like all white, but has got like red lines all over his face.
That one, it doesn't. It's not jumping off my head, but nevertheless.
He's a bit crazy looking, and I think that's what I love about Kabuki. I accidentally keep giving him like cardigans and like children's toys and stuff, and he like loves all of them.
Oh my god.
So he's going around in like a little green cardi and stuff. It's quite funny.
Yeah, one of my favourite islands I've seen online, and it's literally somebody who they have all the cats except one, and then they've just got Roald, the animal I'm looking for. And honestly, that's the vibe I'm kind of going for. One day, soon, hopefully today. I don't know how many Nook miles I've spent. I haven't really been keeping track.
Yeah, we can always double check afterwards.
Do a count once the clock ticks on. It's annoying me. I've only managed to find one gold so far. I didn't realise it was that rare.
Yeah, gold's pretty rare.
And then you bought me gold shoes. How could you? Too
It's
kind.
what I do.
Alrighty, so oh wow. Sorry, I've just seen I'm seeing the chat here. Moxie has Audie, GG, not an easy one to get. Cherry, wait, 2 cherries?
Yeah, there's 2 cherries.
Really? Oh wow, I thought that was
Yeah.
like a glitch or just glitch
No,
where you have an
there's 2.
island of rolls. That's what I need. But sorry.
There's 2 cherries.
Yeah, so we've got Cherry, Petrol. I'm so sorry for our disses. Caroline, Ed, Gorcho, Octavian. I do love Octavian. He just Naruto runs all the way around the island. Peanut, Percy, and Stitches. Then Rennie has Rosie, Anka. I do like Anka. If I found Anka, I'd be tempted, but they've got an amiibo, so I'll leave it. Genji, Deirdre, Tia, Marshall, Biscuit, Wolfgang, Audie. Again, oh my god, can't believe you finally got them. And Marina, which I would like Marina to match my Octavian. And yeah, Moxie does have the 2 cherries. Which, so what breeds are those again, sorry? If you know?
Yeah, 1 cherry is emo dog, and I think 1 cherry is either a squirrel or a little bear. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah. I did like that emo dog. It kind of had a slight finally came out at 14 vibes, which is like a relatable mood. But anyway, if you don't mind me asking, if somebody was looking to buy a Switch or get a couple games, what would be your kind of under the radar recommendations of weird, quirky stuff. Because you have some games on the Switch which, even running the podcast, I'm like, I have never even heard of that.
That's true. I'll be like, look at this, and you're like, what?
It's just like a shining emblem, and then you're like, it's a really cool indie game.
Sorry, I'm moving about in my bed. I realize it's noisy. So, of course, Animal Crossing, hands down. It's a must-have. Though I realize it's very expensive. So in the same way of Breath of the Wild is a must-have, Animal Crossing is a must-have, but of that tier. If you're looking for something more the £30 range, the 51 worldwide games is so good.
I love it. It became like a little wee joke on the podcast, because we would, every couple of weeks we ended up, every week we were chatting about Worldwide Classic because news just kept on trickling out. And, you know, it was at a direct and it was the big Nintendo IP. But
it's just really, really polished.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And even just the little sounds, you know, that the characters make as you move around the chest or whatever. It's just so wonderful. Of course, the classic. I mean, I'm a Lego games, you know, girl at heart.
Connoisseur.
So of course, the Harry Potter Lego game on Switch. It is a really good port. It actually adds a couple little extra bits. It covers up a lot of glitches that are quite common. Really easy to pick up and play. Of all the Lego games, the Harry Potter ones are the better ones.
Yeah, I really want to try a new one, because the issue I've been having is either they're based on a franchise I'm not familiar with, because I remember I got The Hobbit, and then they kept on telling me to talk to characters and to do things that, like, with terminology I just didn't know.
The problem is the Hobbit games and the post Lord of the Rings game, almost all of them are open world, and can get really confusing. The Lego games, sorry, the Harry Potter games, oh my god, we talked about this for like 2 hours the other day, so I'll make it brief.
Go wild.
The Harry Potter games are the last of the few that are still relatively contained in different areas. So what's nice about it is you walk through the worlds. It's the 2 games in one. Even though they did multiple other games for a lot of different series, they either added more or are missing out franchises, when as that Harry Potter, that is it.
Yeah, the complete saga.
It's complete. And that's what's mostly enjoyable about it. I can also really recommend Graveyard Keeper. I played that a lot on PC, and it is a little glitchy, but it has had a couple patches in its port, so would recommend Graveyard Keeper.
The thing that always sticks in my mind about Graveyard Keeper is I love the way the game scales to different screens, where rather than just making everything big, it just actually gives you more screen space, which I think is just brilliant.
Well, it seems really better managed, and whereas I think a lot of games of a similar type of management, where I'm always quite hesitant when I lose the function of the mouse, it actually works really smoothly on Graveyard Keeper.
Aaron in the chat, doubles your sentiment. Apparently he's got 150 hours in it, so you're among friends. I've played less of it on Switch because I did a big chunk on I've only got 40 hours on Switch because I did more on PC, but it's really interesting how it has similar sort of energy, resource, and human interaction as Stardew Valley, but there isn't the same kind of finite clock. You can kind of go to your own pace. So I know there's a lot of people that are like, complete the game in like 3 in-game weeks or whatever. Just don't need to do that. You can really do as you want. And that's what I prefer, as somebody who would rather learn how to min-max the game through playing it rather than like lots of restarts. That is completely fair.
Two more.
Go for it. Go wild.
Goose Game.
Oh, good choice.
That's all I need to say. I think it works perfectly on Switch, of all the platforms.
Yeah, and you know, it's surprising. I was expecting it to have been on sale yet by now, but it's still well, it's not too expensive. It's like 15, 16 pounds.
We can double check. But yeah, no, Goose Game, so solid. And then my last but not least recommendation is Passport 2.
Yeah,
Starving Artist.
that for me is like, you know, such a weird Louise game that they found and nobody else knows about, but it's still super quality.
It's been out for ages as well, has Passport 2.
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of people's maybe got scared about drawing with the kind of joysticks and touchscreen, which I think is part of the game, in all fairness.
Well, so yeah, I first had it on PC, and the whole point is about really shitty paint drawing with a mouse. And so it being on Switch, where it's touchscreen, adds the icing on the cake of you're not meant to, it's not meant to be good art. You know, you have limited colors, and if you can do something great, wow. But there's so many different endings, and there's so many different like styles, and I really don't know how the game determines value in your art. But that is truly something which, you know, when I'm feeling bad, I'll load it up and just do some shitty drawings.
See, you know, oh, sorry, I've got my first of these tall tower islands. It's been a lot of flat ones today. But who is this? Oh, I love them, but oh, they're not who I'm looking for.
Who is it?
It's Marina. Oh, they're
Marina.
I want them. No. I'll just have to visit Rennie's Island, I think. Oh, it stings. How many Nook miles? So how I'm planning today is I'm on the quest for Roald. You have the amiibo. Oh, fantastic! I can always double back if I change my mind. But my plan is there's one or two villagers. I'm mainly looking for Roald, but if Raymond comes home, because I do love him. But if I find somebody early, you'll assume it ends slightly earlier, which has been taking a lot longer than I was expecting. This rock business has really been dragging it out, so I might give up the rocks after my tools break.
Yeah, I can always give you the gold, and we can end with you all dressing up.
Oh, why thank you, you're too kind. Yeah, I think I'm going to start speed running this because it's taking longer. But basically, once I get into the last 50, oh, she's changed outfit. Oh.
Anton, keep it together.
Yeah, I need eyes on the prize. I'm looking for round penguin boy. But yeah, in the last 50, that's when I'm going to start looking for yeah, that's when I'm going to be like starting to be like, actually, you would do the job, or at least maybe last 25. So that's the pro gamer plan, Louise.
You know, it sounds solid to me. I'm equally here to be encouraged. Sorry, I'm just switching over to my computer. Did you know my monitor has inbuilt speakers? And
I
like
did
a
not
chump,
know that.
I had garbage extra speakers attached. So we had a terrifying moment when I had moved them over to my Switch with my old monitor, and my computer starts making music.
Yeah,
Anyway, sorry, that was it. That was all I had to say.
You know what? I'm like really surprised in 2020 that there aren't more monitors with speakers in them. Like you can spend like £700 on a monitor and it won't have speakers in it. Which I understand the logic there, where you know on the cheap ones it literally just needs to be a panel you plug into a computer. On the expensive stuff, I understand like, oh, you may need other ones, but it's like just put in like some £10 speakers into your £1,000 monitor, and you know, if I plug in my Xbox or PS4, you know, it would do the job. You know?
Yeah. You'd also think that like I guess it's one of those things that like computer is like, well, of course you want to be able to upgrade everything separately. Whereas
Oh
actually,
my god. Ugh. Oh,
Who is
that's a hideous one. Oh
who
my
who
god.
is it?
Ah. Don't like leave this one. Naomi.
Oh.
Mm,
How is my typing too loud, by the way?
no.
Did you say that?
Apparently Emily has this villager. I am so sorry. Which is a shame. It's actually quite a pretty island they're on. It's got tons of waterfalls. I would take an island, terraform an island like that. I say that, I have 0 skill. Ah, dearie me. Let's go home. But yeah, so are you happy with all the villagers you've got on your island, or if you've got 1 or 2 you're hoping to maybe switch in or out?
Kind of, yeah. I've got Kyle, the wolf. He's like fine, you know. He does the job. But then also, I'm like, well, I'd rather a couple others, but there's no one I hate. I got rid of everyone I hate.
Ah. So it's not quite full cat or sheep island, but a nice mix.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And if you don't mind me asking, is there any games on the calendar you have your heart set on? Or are tempted at?
Well, so the Steam sale is currently going on.
Yes. The
and
economy.
so, yeah, at first I was like, well, that's it, I'm going to buy everything. But I didn't actually buy everything. I bought some DLC for City Skylines.
Which one did you grab?
I grabbed 3.
Oh.
I got Green Cities, University, and Mass Transit.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. The green one is, of course, Soloise, and the mass transit one just makes networking your city so much easier.
Yeah, well, and as well, it's what Paradox do best. Their transport, is what they're known for. So yeah, I was like, well, of course I'm getting the. Sorry, clicked on something and I lost my mind. So I got that, and then I had House Flipper. I bought House Flipper.
How is House Flipper? I've been tempted because it just came to Switch.
Not sure how I'd feel about it without a mouse.
Okay.
I think just because. Also, I don't know how I'd feel about it being small. Like, my monitor is quite a nice size for the proximity that I'm sat to it. So, it's definitely a game made in Unity. Not necessarily in a bad or a good way. It has a lot of very recognizable assets. It does a lot of things in a bit of a janky way. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad.
Yeah.
I really like the game, but also would not buy it full price.
Yeah, the one thing it's making me a little bit sad about is the time commitment you would need for it, because just to click, like, I get the appeal of having it where, it's like, yep, you're cleaning this house, you have to click on everything, but at the same time, you have to click on everything.
Well, so it is slightly clicking on everything, and it is slightly holding down, and not the upgrade, but like the way that you level up is actually really nice. Is it's pretty darn smooth in terms of progression. But yeah, I don't quite know, because equally it seems to be it could be a bit intensive, I think, for Switch, especially with some of the later levels that are so like full and the houses are really quite big. In the same way that I didn't really think Spyro was that intensive and ended up really dropping frames quite regularly, I would be more hesitant.
Yeah, it's really been interesting on the conversation of like talking about the power of the Nintendo Switch. We recently had the Outer Worlds on the Switch, where I think Witcher was close to it, where it really did look quite ugly, but you know, you got the same experience on there. But The Witcher seems to be the first game on the Switch where people are like, actually, maybe not everything needs to come over. Obviously, I know Mike on the podcast, he's happy with the compromises, and I know there are a decent amount, but it's the first one where people are like, actually, you know what, it kind of, it compromises on the experience too much to actually be worth bothering with. And that's kind of the camp I'm on, but I did play it on PC beforehand, so I may have been, my eyes may have been tainted by the beauty of 5K.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a couple things which, but you know, we have the luxury of having
Very true.
loads of different consoles and places to play it on. I loved it just because it was sort of another, you know, you could clean a house and it would be perfect, and you didn't have to hurt your arm in scrubbing out the grime, you know. So that was really enjoyable.
I feel like you like games that, you know, should be boring but have a secretly addictive undertone. That's the vibe I get.
What do you mean should be boring? Just because you think they're boring?
No, let's be real. Like, to most people, if you suggested, hey, this game you're going to be cleaning houses, and then later in the day we're going to play a game about city management and transport infrastructure, people would be like, you have like the worst taste. I'm playing Call of Duty.
Other people, you know, there's a lot of people who are into city builders. Just because you don't like games, Anton.
You
Confirmed.
should see.
Anton doesn't like games.
How could you? Nah, I love City Skylines. Like, I play Euro Truck Simulator, so I get the vibe.
I'm still waiting for Slime Rancher on Switch.
There been?
No, there's been nothing, and that is my, you know, my one request.
Has it got console ports on any of the other two, or is it?
It does. It's got both of the other two.
Sorry, I've just seen. Apparently, I've left Gonzo behind. Yeah, he was good. I think I've got plenty more Nook miles to sell gamble. So I'm holding out. I'm holding out luck. And I'm starting to rapid fire through them now. So I'm hoping to cover some more ground. Yeah, you know what? I think would be fantastic. Admittedly, Nintendo doesn't really need to do it, but it would be nice if they had a demo for Animal Crossing. Like, give you the first night.
Yeah, the problem is the same with other games that they've given a demo, that you feel like you just don't have enough from a demo.
I think if it was a kind of case of you get the first night and you can do as much as you want with that first night. So I remember putting in a good 5 or 10 hours into my first night, which I think's alright for a demo.
I mean, I played it for a very long time, but also the problem with Animal Crossing is that it's limited, like, to physical real world time.
Yeah. See, I think for me it was like the only time I played an Animal Crossing before this one is I maybe put half an hour into New Leaf. And you know, I went in there and there was a full town. You know, I got introduced, I got to make my character, and it was all random, which, you know, all good with that. But then it was like they kind of let me off the town. I was like, who do I even talk about? Oh, this one's a sassy person. Who's this? Who's this character? Looks like they're Tiffany. Yeah, they
Tiffany's good fun.
Yeah, they look like they're going to, like, frown at me when I order a coffee from Witherspoons and be like, okay, honey. That's the vibe I'm getting from them. Well, it was nice saying hello. I'm always scared I'm going to accidentally double press and accidentally just have a rando come to my island. Which, I might go double check I haven't accidentally invited a rando.
Well, you should be like, confirm, come to my island.
Yeah, I do a bit of button mashing.
You also won't find any new villagers on, like, the islands will be empty
Oh, I'm meaning
if you've accepted one.
Oh, really? Oh, fab. That makes sense.
So that you can't be like, come on, and then.
Oh, that's how you start. That's the Uprising DLC. You invite like 20 people to the island, but have no homes for them, and then they have an uprising, and then it becomes a cult, and you all march around the fire in the center of the town square.
Yeah, pretty much.
But a little wee recommendation is I've recently found a new YouTuber by the name of Stupendium. And you know, it's not quite rap, not quite song, but it's all video game parodies. And you know, I've seen a lot of channels do it, like Dan Bull, for instance, is quite a popular one. But he's honestly got the best production value and music quality of all of them I've seen so far. And he did one or two quite good Animal Crossing one recently. He has a good Outer World, Fallout, really quality stuff. I was really taken aback by just even the video editing in the videos.
Yeah.
Because I know with a couple music channels, it's a case of they're really talented music-wise, and then they have okay editing, and then they occasionally get a good editor every now and then for the big flagship videos. But no, Spendium's like quality throughout.
Right, I'll have to look it up.
Oh, dear lord. This I hate this person. This person leads the debating team. But like the kind of evil one from the evil high school. Who are you? Hippux. I don't like them. Ugh.
Do you think you're going to offend anyone with your...
Yeah, I'm definitely offending everybody with my my hot takes today. It's not a good day to be an Anton. Or it's a good day to be an Anton. It's
Is it a good
apparently it's
day?
pronounced hippo. But it had an ux at the end. Hippox? Hippox? Oh, now I'm getting bullied. I can't believe this.
How could you?
I know. But what sort of YouTube channels has been keep Hipux? Yeah, Hippox. I'm leaving it.
God.
What sort of YouTube stuff have you been watching as of late?
A fair amount of is the Spiffing Brit. I've mentioned him. I've mentioned him to you.
Yeah, I think I watched him when he first joined your cast, which is obviously clearly a long time way back.
Well, about a year ago.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Did I watch him during your cast time? I don't know. You know what sort of stuff does he do again?
So he does like video game exploits or clever use of game mechanics, and it's especially for like games that I know, it's just really amazing to see games like torn to pieces. Being, just totally broken, just so broken, and like even so, some of the Skyrim exploits were like stuff I had known about in sort of mechanics and things, but like his most recent one was I just could not have imagined playing the game in that kind of way to have that effect, and I think that's just amazing.
Yeah, it's talking about speedrunning. Aaron mentions speedrunning. I should be in the speedrunning for going through these islands. Yes, that's my true life goal. Go for the world record. But I have noticed from trying to do some speedrunning of Halo is that when you start breaking the game design, oh my god, I don't like this one.
Who is it?
They're big. They're not the worst. They're just a big chunky bear. They're called Pinky.
Oh, Pinky's a bit of a meme though.
They just seem huge. They're like human size.
Yeah, that's how Klaus was. Becca really didn't like Klaus.
Yeah, like I feel like you could give that one a human skin and it wouldn't feel out of place.
Oh, Anton, why would you say that?
you know, when they skin the villager and the uprising we were talking about before.
Oh gosh.
Um,
Oh no.
I know. Aaron's asking when we should. I believe they're bringing co-op to MCC PC in maybe not the next update, but the one after that. So hopefully at that point we can crossplay between the console and PC. Because I definitely there's a good couple fun multiplayer achievements which would be fun to tackle on. But,
MCCP?
oh, sorry.
What?
So when have I? Maybe I've gotten confused. I don't. Yeah. So me and Aaron, who's in the chat, have been chatting about doing a co-op run of Halo ever since like we've known each other. But I sold my Xbox because I didn't really enjoy the one. And then they brought there was like 3 games I had on the Xbox One, and then they brought them all to PC, so I kind of bailed on it. But they don't have crossplay for Halo: The Master Chief Collection yet, so we're holding out for that because the next one's coming in the end of the year. So currently in full catch-up mode because it's been running for like 20 years. There's too many games, but they're not too long.
Perfect. More games.
Yes, the one thing I didn't have enough of.
Oh, yeah, I'm just looking at Steam right now, which is sacrilege being a wonderful guest on NSP UK.
NSUKP. It's fine.
Oh,
It took us like
brilliant.
50 episodes to learn it ourselves.
Oh, I thought it was Nintendo Switch Podcast UK, not Nintendo Switch UK Podcast.
Nintendo Switch UK podcasts.
Okay. I did
NS
think it was NSUKP.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. But for some reason I was like, no, that can't be. Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, it's
I'm, I'm never being invited back again, am I?
Oh no, it's been lovely having you.
A game I do have my eye on
Oh,
for the Switch, but I don't know if you know or have heard or whatever, but it's called Not Tonight.
Oh, who's this little wee character?
Who is it?
Oh, I like them. They're a little wee deer.
Oh,
Deirdre.
Is it Fauna? Oh, Deirdre is sweet.
Oh, I kicked Deirdre off my island a couple weeks ago, didn't I?
Wow.
I can't remember. I
could
feel like I
you?
recognize Deirdre.
Is it on one of our islands or
I
Rennie's?
think Rennie might have them. But anyway, they're cute. I like them. But sadly, not the case. How many Nook the Miles tickets? I've really been speed running through them now, but let's see. Yeah, I think I accidentally got more than 100 Nook Miles tickets to begin with, so I don't know how many I've used. So if you ever want to leave, feel free to, because I have like tons of them.
Oh, I mean, I'm waiting for other things in my life to happen. Don't worry.
No worries. I think people are slowly trickling out, so I'll maybe stick around as long as people will endure my madness and nonsense.
I was gonna tell you about a Switch game.
Oh yes, sorry, my apologies. I interrupted.
It's called Not Tonight. It's a game
It's,
where you play as a
Brexit.
bouncer. Yeah, it's the Brexit game.
Oh yeah, the World's End edition on Switch, or is it on PC you're playing?
Well, it would be looking at the game either or. I think it looks really cool, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, that's one where I'm like, you know, there's a lot of indie games where I'm like, yeah, I'll maybe pick up and sale, or I'll throw on the wish list. That's one where I'm like, I can't want to jump in while all this Brexit stuff's new.
Well, to be honest, Anton, it's going to stay new for a very long time, and it's going to hurt for the rest of time. So, you know, constantly topical.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. When did we first start talking about Brexit? Like
When did we first start
2012? I'm trying to think. So like, there's kids like growing to like relatively competent brains in the time that we've been talking about this happening.
Yes.
It's bizarre. I find it funny. I was chatting with an American. It must have been like 2016, and they're, you know, I think they were 17, 16, around my sort of age at the time. I can't remember what age I was in that in 2016. But you know, I you know mentioned I was from Scotland, and it was online.
Anton, you're from Scotland.
Yes. And
No.
they had heard of us having it not like the independence not going right. And they were like, it's okay, you two will have your revolution soon enough. And I think they don't know where Scotland is and what part of the world we are. Like, they were like, yeah, I'm sure the uprising will go well. Like, unironically.
Well, I think we're a mixed country with a broken history, but also, have not been the best, have had bad stuff happen. It's
I think we could all move to Canada. I think we would get on quite
well,
well.
no, I'm. Oh, I will too. I do have some good Canadian friends, but I am on my planned way to either go and live in Berlin like all the hipsters do, or to just straight up emigrate to New Zealand. Those are the two goals.
Yeah, it's an awkward one. Moving. See, I do love.
I
the
have
vibe.
moved country several times actually, so I think it would be totally fine, Anton.
Yeah.
Come on, you're coming with me, right? I've bought our tickets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Scandalous. I'm sorry, Rennie. I'm sorry this is how you find it.
Yeah, I know. Becca will also be shooketh.
I know. The Rennie and Becca power duo. That's something we're not ready for.
Are they Rekka or are they Benny?
I like Benny.
I do like Benny. It somehow makes them less threatening.
You can go for Frank and Benny's on a Sunday.
Oh my god.
Well,
not
Rennie, Becca,
necessarily,
Benny,
because Frank and Benny's
Frank
is
and
all
Benny.
shutting down.
They're closing down a good portion of their stores. But to be honest,
yeah, but you know what's not closing?
Wagwama.
Wagamama.
Wagwama.
Yeah. Wagwan. Me babber.
To be honest, I think Frank and Benny's, there was too many Frank and Benny's to begin with. I love Frank and Benny's. It's my go-to birthday meal. But there's like 5, 6 in Edinburgh. That's way too many. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I was muting it. I'm just making noises and I don't want to.
Ah!
I don't want to destroy your stream. Yeah, I think it's interesting because they're in with the Chiquitos and Wagamama's brand, right?
Chica-wika-wiko and Wagawama-wama.
Chica-wikos and Frankie and Bonnie's. And as a vegan, they were all three were really good because they all had like really decent options that were also like gluten-free, in a similar way to Zzz's, right? But without that price. And for, even just for picky eaters, that's really, really helpful.
Yeah. That
everyone can eat there. And so I think, though the whole world is generally getting better at having options that everyone can eat, I do always feel a little bit saddened when, something that is being more inclusive doesn't get to survive. But, Wagamama is still doing good. Chiquitos is still doing something. And there's plenty other, like, small places that are opening up. Down with the corporate industry, rise with the... Well, I don't know.
It's quite alright. I
don't know. I then was thinking about the free market and got sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad. Like, I love... I know yourself and so many people we know love Wagga Wagga Wagga. But last time, I just looked at the website, the menu, and I was like, there's nothing. They didn't even have... I think they had this... I don't even think they had drinks. Oh, I don't like this one. Speedrunning. I was gutted, because they do look nice,
also,
and you go past and it smells nice.
You've never tried that stuff. Thai food is what it is. A kind of bastardized Thai food.
Yeah. I would maybe need to look at the menu again.
Vegetable tempura, right, is literally just deep fried veggies.
Bold of you to assume I eat vegetables.
Well, there's like sweet potato in there, so those are like essentially chips. There's then also edamame beans, which is just like little beans. You've eaten peas. You've eaten other
Nope.
kind of beans before. You've eaten baked beans, Anton.
No, I literally detest baked beans.
Well, okay,
I
but it's
literally
not.
have like a diet of
The
cereal.
edamames are not baked, and there's no weird tomato sauce. They're just like nice little beanie boys.
I think
They are really simple. It's just rice with a meat and a bit of vegetables and flavor in a bowl, and that's it. Or the ramens, which is just noodles with a bit of chicken stock and some flavor.
yeah, I think you underestimate
Okay.
or overestimate my ability to eat foods.
Okay. Well, last shot. I'm googling it. There is a
Oh.
kids menu, right? And they are very yeah. Here we go. It's a very simplified version of the menu. That's not Discord. Where is Discord? Here we go. I'll send it to you because they definitely do Sprite firstly and Coca-Colas.
Okay,
so
so-
you can have those. But yeah, oh my god, Munch's server, what a broken ass. Anyway.
Yeah, it's
So they've got.
Oh, this
they've-
one. Sorry, I've seen the grossest villager yet. I know I've said that. This
Oh,
one's
who is it?
they haven't shaved in a year. They've got a Viking helmet. They're called Dick.
Mm-hmm.
They look like the dad that just like gave up and is trying to get the kids back. I don't like that one.
Oh no. Yeah.
I'm running away.
So,
Alrighty. I've got the
do you
kids
want me
menu
to
here.
talk you through the kids menu? Oh no, you're looking at it now. You see, it's got pictures,
Yeah.
so you can see what's in it. Look, even that, the katsu curries, the sauces on the sides. You can add as much or as little as you want. Oh, there's a little ice lollipop. That's so great.
Yeah, I would literally. The only thing on all of these would be the chicken that I would eat.
You don't eat noodles?
Actually, yeah, I do eat the noodles. Yeah,
And you don't eat rice?
I don't eat rice. I have a.
What am I to say to that, Anton?
Yeah, I am. Sadly, a very red-blooded diet.
I'm gonna put rice in your body when you sleep.
How could you?
I know.
First,
how could
I'm
I?
gonna wake up with no hair and rice in my mouth. What is this timeline?
The cursed timeline.
Oh my god. But I'm so conflicted, Louise.
Yeah.
I'll say you don't care anything of the franchise, and that's completely okay. But they're doing a new Halo book, which is cool.
Okay.
It's a sequel. Like I only read the first.
Like a physical book,
Indeed, I've only read like
not like a game that's called a book.
yeah, it's a physical book with paper and trees and stuff.
Okay.
I haven't read a book. Like I only read the Halo books when like the first couple. So it was like 2001, 2003, 2003, and I think I did one in 2006. And then now there's 38 books, but now they're doing a sequel to the first book. And I'm tempted at it, but the audiobook doesn't come out until like 1-2 months later. And I'm like, because it's going to be, it really ties into the next big game. So I know there's going to be spoilers, but at the same time, like, I do enjoy my good old fashioned audiobooks. So I'm like real conflicted.
Yeah, I was going to say, before you invest in audiobooks, make sure that you do enjoy the audiobook listening lifestyle, because I know, like, so Molly's a really great reader. She just doesn't enjoy listening to someone tell her a story. In the same way to me that she finds traditional narration very slow, she then can't follow it when it gets much faster.
Yeah, thankfully I do love audiobooks, so that is like my preferred way to go.
I mean, I always wait for the audiobooks.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's talk about the newest Game of Thrones, well, A Song of Ice and Fire book will be coming out supposedly. You know, it's all sort of, he's working on it more than ever before. But the voice actor who's done all the rest of the books on Audible has passed away, sadly.
No, sorry. Apparently, I'm
So-
getting divorced in the chat because I abandoned
Oh,
someone.
how?
There was somebody called Eric, and they were cute, but I just ran away.
Oh, how could you?
It's not-
So it means, yeah, not just are they going to have to find like a new voice actor, there also will be the time to then recording it and then releasing it after it's been released. So yeah, I'll just have to wait.
Yeah, I'm conflicted. I think if it wasn't tying in with the new game, I would easily wait.
Yeah.
But basically, what's happened is they had the original trilogy, which is like God's Gift to Earth, which was brilliant, from like 2001 to 2007 of games.
Yeah.
The company who made them left, and it was awful, and everybody cried. And then they did 4 and 5, which were awful, and everybody
Yeah.
hated them. And now they are going in. They've basically fired majority of the higher up staff at 343, and then they're rebooting
Yeah.
the franchise. And
Right.
they literally retconning majority of it. So this book is like both like a great throwback. It's going to a really interesting place in the story, and retconning it. So it's going to be important to like connect the dots as somebody who's not a new player, which I think they're targeting. But at the same time, it's like it's got me real conflicted.
If you have to... Sorry. Yeah, if you have to read a book to play a game, I mean, what kind of game is that? You know what I'm
True.
saying?
Yeah, that's one of the big things 343's been criticised in the past for the people who took over the franchise is they, you know, before it was kind of a case of it was a game, and you know there were some books and stuff that kind of filled in some gaps in the universe. But like for instance, 4, you could only complete that as if you were like you could only understand the story if you had like several books under your belt, which was part of the problem.
That's horrid.
So basically,
I mean, think about like the Witcher series or
Yeah.
the Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls series. They've all got books,
yeah,
and and now a TV show. You don't need any of it to play any of the game.
yeah. So right now, it really seems like they're basically setting up this new one as if like if you kind of stopped playing, like you maybe played the original trilogy, then jumped in at the spiritual reboot, which they're spending £500 million on, most expensive game ever being made.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and the last entry in the franchise was 50 mil, and they did that in 2 years, and they're spending 500 mil on this one, and they spent like 6 years on it. Like, it's going to be a big one for them, and obviously a launch title for their new console. But basically, if you just played the originals, you can just jump ahead and just play this one and pretend like nothing even happened, or even then play it as if oh, that's a cute one. You can like play it as your first game and still get it, is apparently what they're saying. But if you've played all the awful ones and stuck by all the garbage and nonsense in the expanded universe, you might want to read this book to see how they're retconning a lot of the expanded universe to fix it, which is a weird one. Mainly, it's kind of a case I'm like, oh, just thank God it's gone. But I do care a little. Hello?
Yeah, hello, sorry, I had to put my fan on, now it's noisy. I am against retconning at my core, because I just feel like you can't say this is canon and then it's not.
Yeah.
And I think that was really divisive with the Star Wars series. And, I think in the same way that fan fiction is written never with the intention to be, it's great and all,
Yeah.
but it is never, because it is not made in the same environment of the thing itself, you can't then take away something and the books and the curation and all of that to then take it away from the environment it was made in and say it's not. Well, that didn't happen. I feel like that is not fair on a gaming fandom, but also in terms of the cultural impact of that. You can't really get away. This sounds so boring.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, thankfully it seems like, at least in this instance, I guess less retconning, more just tying up all the loose ends early.
Okay.
So that's why I'm kind of tempted at the book to just, there was interesting ideas, just horrible execution, a lot of stuff like that, where, or a lot of stuff that just felt out of line with the franchise. So, but anyway, this is boring for yourself because you're basically saying stuff now. I'm being like, well, not exactly. But
I guess I don't understand the full situation.
oh, this one's a pretty one. I like this one. Is it? Fine.
I think that will be me off, my boy.
No worries.
This has been very fun, though.
Indeed, and it would be a pleasure to have you on again at some point.
Yeah, you know me. You know my schedule.
The pro gamer. I feel I have no idea how I'm keeping track of how many pounds of this is. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I have like 84 tickets left.
84.
Yeah, I think I've maybe taken
You've
more.
done 26, basically.
Yeah, I think I spent like an hour on the first 10, and then I speed run the other
Oh my god.
10 in 20 minutes.
Okay, so this might be a couple sessions then.
Yeah, possibly. Oh, yeah. Oh no, I have no idea. Who knows? I'm just gonna call on until I get bored.
I don't know why I ever trust you when you tell me numbers, because it's almost always wrong the first time.
Yeah.
And you correct yourself, and that's fine, but I don't know why I trust you.
Yeah, I don't trust myself in all fairness. But anyway,
Alrighty.
Rennie says bye, and it's been lovely having you.
Yeah, I'll be back. I need to get streaming set up on my own computer, and then I'm just being lazy. And then I'll be back into the swing a little bit more.
Make a grand return.
Yeah.
Well, alright, it's been a pleasure. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty, so I'm sorry, you're suck with me now and see the numbers just plummet into boredom as I try and speed run all of this insanity. But nonetheless, I'm going to share in a vain attempt to kind of keep you interested as a good exciting day where I had came home and the night before Rainy had sent a photo to me, my partner, of a cat in the stairwell, and I was like, oh, that's cute. And not knowing anything, didn't think of it. Came back the next day and the cat was still there, and I was like, okay. And it was scared. It was squeezed into the side of a step. It seemed absolutely terrified of me. Which was a shame. So go chat to Ren. I'm like, oh, do you know anything of this cat? Not knowing anything. So yeah, Rennie knew nothing of this cat. So the next day, so right there, I was like, okay, it's been in here since at least last night. It looks scared. So I went out, checked out the cat. It was like a pure white cat. Super adorable. It looked too clean to be a house cat. So managed to get its attention. Checked in on my neighbours, and no, they didn't know anything of it. So basically went door to door, chapping on all of my neighbours' doors, and it was actually the first time I met many of them. And went on a voyage. There's somebody downstairs. Like one person was like, "Yep, I know X person has a cat." Oh yes, too clean to be a stray, I meant. But yeah, it was like the sweetest little thing. One person was like, "Yep, this person on the bottom floor has a cat." I was like, "Yes, I'm in luck." I go down to them, and they have a cat, and they go to the door, and I was like, "This looks like the person." They have a cat, like climbing stand near the door, and then they're like, "Nah, this is the one cat I've got." Then I chat to one person. They're like, "Oh, this is a cutie. Who's this little character?" Go to one person. They're like, "I know." Oh, I had this person before. This is Fauna. you know, it was just, they were like, yeah, I saw a post on it on this app, but I don't know the app and I don't know the post. So they went off and basically gave them my contact information, and then one of went up, and then another neighbour was with the cat, and I was like, yeah, you know, this person apparently has seen something. They're just going to send me the information when they've got it, and they send the information. It's of a lost cat. The person who had, like, I bumped into in the staircase that was now looking after the cat was like, yeah, I think they're friends with my cousin. So we get in contact with their cousin. The cousin's like, actually, we were like best friends, but we've fallen out and they blocked me on everything. But I know their sister, who is like the partner of the person the cat belongs to. So this whole big string of events, and in the meantime, this cat went from like scared, almost like terrified little wee thing that was like basically trying to squeeze itself into a corner and lay as flat as possible, into like this friendliest little thing that was trying to like basically get into our houses, giving cuddles, and it was like my favorite breed. And I swear, if I could have adopted them, you have no idea how quickly it would have been mine. It was just such a cute little wee thing, and it, you know, it was a little sad where it's like, you know, this cute little wee soft cuddly kitten, and then the owner comes. It's like, oh, look at this wee numpty. Oh, come with me, wee Benji. And I was like, I suppose it was just such a mismatch. I just wanted them for myself. I don't know. He didn't seem like the kind of person that would give it tons of cuddles. But nevertheless, one day I shall adopt a little wee kitten. I'm just looking for one that looks up my alley. Cause it's a hard thing where it's a little bit harder to find. Because I think the fact that obviously there's somewhere circumstantial where, you know, they're not in the position to keep a cat. But you get a lot of situations where in which it's, you know, more so a kind of case that they maybe didn't want a cat or weren't in a position for a cat, and you know, they're maybe not looked after the best in their kind of, so you know, quite often in that case they end up being kind of just left to be outdoor cats. Not to say you don't love a cat if having an outdoor cat. I'm just thinking a lot of the ones people neglect or don't really care about are outdoor ones. So you know, it's very hard to adopt one that is an indoor cat. Because with being in a flat, you know, it's all you need is somebody to lock the door at the bottom, and then that cat's locked up for good. So, that's my long tail of wanting a cat over. But I don't know. I'm broody, if that's the correct term for a cat. And once upon a time, soon in the future, I shall own one. Less of a dog person, although my partner certainly disagrees. But I think cat is the first objective. You know, it's a bag of sugar, cat. And then dog, and then pet monkey, which that's, you know, it makes me sad that it's kind of cruel to own a pet monkey, and I totally agree and don't plan to own a pet monkey, but it makes me sad because I have like pet monkey, the hashtag, like saved on Instagram, and I see some clips and I'm like, oh, that's what I am. That's all I want is a pet monkey. Dress him up, like I want to give him a little wee nice suit. Maybe a turtleneck. I'll, you know, shave his head slightly, give him a short back and sides, make him look, give him a fresh look. We can go for espresso. I've got a nice cafe I like that I want to visit, post everything that's going on, and yeah, basically he can be one of the boys. Teach him how to play video games. I'm being a little bit aspirational with that last one, but I'm sure I can get him to drink espresso, or at least some form of like brown liquid in a tiny cup, which is basically the qualification for being a pet, and that's why the dogs never got past the test, because they don't have them thumbs. So that's one of my greatest voyages of all time, and yeah, so it's been interesting with Animal Crossing, where, you know, I started off as, you know, I put a lot of time in it first. I was a little bit late, mainly because I was bankrupt, technically, kind of. Oh, who's... Is that... Who's this? Is that Roald? Roald doesn't usually wear that. Oh! Okay, who is he? Oh. Oh, I do like them, though. We have Rolled Energy. What's different between this one and Rolled? I have one, like, really, if I just give this person a plaid shirt, aren't they just Rolled? Oh, they're not blue. I prefer the blue one. Oh, I'm so conflicted. Oh, it's girl Rolled. Oh, I don't know. How many Nook Mile tickets have I got? Oh, I'm so conflicted. Should I do it? You think I should do it, Aaron? I'm looking for a poll. How's everybody feeling? What do you think, Moxie? Oh, this one. Oh, this one's. How many Nook Mile tickets do I have? It has been a long stream. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I'm not too sure. I'm going to take out these rocks and hopefully think during. They are pretty goofy, and I do have one penguin. Maybe I can get Penguin Island. And then, I don't know. What's your thoughts, Rennie? You're the Animal Crossing expert. Yeah, I think I'm going for Penguin Island. Okay, you're coming with me. Aurora's coming home. Yeah, this is close enough. The fact that I thought it was rolled for a second means they passed the roll check. You know, it's the age-old test. You'll love it there. Fantastic. Oh, Penguin Island, Penguin Island. Yes. Oh, let's just take out these rocks and then head home. And I've got plenty of Nook Miles tickets, so if you have enjoyed the stream, please let me know, because I would be up for doing another one of these. Considering I thought I could get through 100 Nook Mile tickets in an hour. I was clearly wrong. So I think I've got plenty of Nook Miles tickets to do another one of these streams. I think that would be a real nice one. And I think Penguin Island is official now. And as well as that, I've got a couple more indie games. I think when I got into streaming, one, I was busy because pandemics were so passé at the point. You know, we weren't really about them at that time. So I was busier, I was out and about more, and as well as that, I was a little bit running dry on games. Like, I think I'd completed most of the ones I had, and you know, the ones I didn't have, weren't really stream material. But now I've got a couple more. I really want to stream Infinity. I played the demo of it, so I've got the first part of the game down, and if you haven't seen Infinity, it's just so cool to look at. So I think that might be my next target of choice. But then nonetheless, I'm renovating my current island slowly but surely. I've done a little bit of terraforming on at least one of the grid spaces, and it's just coming along well. I'm getting back into it, which is nice. And I think that's me hit all the rocks, head home, and call it a day. But again, thank you so much for joining. It's been a pleasure. This has been a decently long stream. I usually stick to about an hour, but you know, it's nice, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to some fun random banter between me and Louise, even though apparently I'm getting rice and my hair shaved. I'll report back. But yeah, I need to kick out one of my uggles. I think Bone's the next one to go. I like Bone at first. He was my favorite at first, but now he's starting to feel a little bit out of place. So I think this is a good one. Let's get a nice end of stream image. Yeah, this one here. You know, they were good. They had a long life, but truth is, he's next. He did ask to leave at one point, so I clearly don't talk to him as much as I should. Let's get a nice pose. And how do I hide the UI? There we are. So, Eternal, thanks for joining us. If you want... Oh, my villager roster. That's actually a good thing to show off before I go. Here is the current standings of the island. Where's my map? Here it is here. I have Tad Friga. That's my other penguin. The star of Penguin Island. Bone, which I think he's going next. Prince, he's my favourite so far. Octavian, I do love him. Maggie, not really too bothered about them. Quilson, not too bothered about them. And Lopez, which they're an OG, I believe. They've been around for... Oh no, I got Lopez recently. But nevertheless, that's a tour. Interrupting my end spiel, Rennie. How could you? But again, thank you so much if you have... Oh, what am I doing? Let's get camera. Let's do this properly. I keep on interrupting myself. This is ridiculous. Why did I even try? There we are. There we are. Does that look good? Give a little pause. Yeah, there we are. So, yeah. Again, final attempt at this. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been a long one. And please let me know what you think of this. If you have anything you'd like me to stream, please do let me know and think about... So yeah, I'm thinking Infinity, and I've got Persona 5 Scramble, the Japanese version, which, you know, it's not a little bit more, or at least the demo, which is more of a unique title, which could be fun. If you're new here, we do a podcast on all of the podcast platforms. I think we're on like 16 platforms. You can find out more information at nsukp.co.uk, but I think I'm among friends, so thank you, cheerio, and au revoir. Get the right screen. There we are. That's the right screen.